Don't waste that pain. There is gold somewhere in that pain if you are willing to dig for it. And I know it's hard. I've been there. I know perhaps the way you were treated, perhaps the situation was unfair. Perhaps you're in a situation that's, far different than anything you've ever experienced. But there is gold somewhere deep into that pain if you dig for it. I always think about the passage in Jeremiah 29:11 when he says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." For me, that encourages me to believe that whatever I go through, there's some sort of a plan. And it may not make sense right now. I get it. And I've been through a lot of things, as many of you have. But it may not make sense right now, but some kind of way, this is going to in some way bring glory to God. This is in some kind of way going to help me in my life. Somehow, no matter how far-fetched that may seem. There's gold there. The question is, can you dig for it? Me sitting on camera right now, and for those who know me personally, you all know I really don't go on social media often at all. But God put in my heart through all of the pain and things I've been through these past several years. And for those who know me, you know I've been through a lot, some really heavy stuff. God put in my heart to do this as a result of all of the prayer time I've spent with him, sitting in my closet, crying, begging out to him to help me, begging him to change situations. This is gold that's being produced from that. This is like one of those nuggets that I now get to speak to people from my heart, being truly authentic, and encourage other people who are going through things. Encourage people that no matter how bad the situation looks, encourage them that they can make it. Encourage them that no matter what your finances are looking like, or what your marriage may be looking like, or maybe a health condition with one of your children, or perhaps yourself. I mean, I can go on and on. The gold produced from my pain is right in front of you. Your gold may be different than mine. I am willing, I know for a fact, I feel it in my spirit, that there are some people watching this right now that need to be writing a book. Right now, need to be writing a book about their life and their experiences so that they can help other people who feel like they can't make it. There's some of you right now who need to be doing things. Some of you need to be doing a podcast right now. You need to go get a microphone, go on some social media platform and start speaking to the world to help and encourage people. For some of you, it might be anything. It might be starting a ministry, a nonprofit, or who knows, maybe a counselor, maybe become a life coach. I mean, there's so many different things. So many ways that God can pull that gold out of you. And it doesn't have to be about money. It doesn't have to be about starting a business. It could simply be the gold that's pulled out of you is having a heart to help others. Maybe charities or organizations or kids who are victims of human trafficking. And for those who know me, you guys know that that's very close to my heart. There is gold in that pain. I want to encourage you to spend some time with God. Sit in silence with him. When I first started doing that, it was very hard because my mind was racing so much. I had so much going on. I felt so alone. I was so hurt by so many things. Everything that could go wrong, at least at that time, I felt was going wrong. But I just sat with him. I said, God, I can't even hear you. I don't even know which direction to go. And a dear friend of mine, and I've talked about her before, who's one of the ones that co-authored the book Spiritual Discovery, helped me learn the value of sitting and meditating and hearing from the Holy Spirit. And I know for some of you that may be a little deep for me to say, but the point I'm getting at is whatever works for you. Because my goal is not to convert you to any religion. It really isn't. I love God. For me, God is real. What I'm trying to convince you to do is if you do believe in God, can you sit down and just talk to him? And can you just listen? Just listen. I don't care if it takes hours, days, weeks, or months. Sit and just listen to what he's trying to speak to you and what he's trying to tell you. I'll tell you something. When this podcast has only been going on for a couple weeks now, maybe I don't even think it's been 2 months actually. I remember sitting in my closet, and for those who don't know me, I sit in my closet at nighttime in the dark, and I just pour out my heart to God. And 95% of that time, I literally don't say anything. I just listen. And I said, God, what say you? What is it that you're trying to tell me? And as weird as this may seem, a couple months ago, when I was going through something else, because, we always have something going on, right? God just put in my heart so strongly. All this time I spend with you, speaking to you, encouraging you and uplifting you. It's time for you to go out there in the world and do that with others. And I'm literally sitting, and in my spirit, I feel like I'm having a conversation with God. And I don't think I'm weird. I'm just saying, in my spirit, I feel like he was talking to me. And literally, he put in my heart, I want you to get on radio or podcast. Like I felt in my spirit, he showed me a vision. Now, again, not trying to weird anybody out. I don't want you saying, oh, she sees things. For me, God made it clear to me that I need to be speaking to the world. I didn't want to do it. I thought, God, I don't even like social media. I'm the kind of person that logged into my Facebook page maybe 3 times out of the year. I thought, oh my goodness, what are people going to think? I went through this whole system, right? I don't even know how to do all of this. I don't even know how to log into these accounts. I don't know how to post stuff. I mean, I went through all of that within maybe a millisecond. And then I remembered, whenever God tells me to do something, I need to do it. I need to walk in obedience. And I said, okay, God, I'll do it. But I said, but you got to go with me. And so it's not even been, as of the recording of this episode, as of this recording, it's not even been maybe 2 months that God has stepped me out on that platform to start speaking to people and just sharing my heart. Now, I'm not a pastor. I'm not a minister. I'm not a licensed counselor. None of that stuff. I want to make that clear. I am simply a woman who is so grateful for God and what he's done in my life. Many of you are still getting to know me. You're looking at someone who grew up in Arkansas in the country. We fled, and I'm using the word fled, to Wisconsin when my mother was coming out of a very, very abusive relationship. We were on welfare our entire lives growing up until I went to college and graduated, and by the grace of God, my mom as well. But during those very, very hard, difficult times, I remember we moved 22 times in 1 year because my mother just didn't have money to pay rent. I ate out of shelters. We were homeless when we got to Wisconsin. Now, years later, of course, I moved, and, many of you know where I'm at now. I'm no longer in Wisconsin. But I'm sharing this with you so that you just are aware that God can move in any situation, and he can bring gold from any situation. Now, here's why I just talked about that. Had I not went through the things I went through and learned what it's like to eat at food pantries, learn what it's like to taste powdered milk, powdered eggs. Many of you probably can't even imagine that. Had I not learned how to watch my mother budget on just a couple $100s a month from a welfare check, taking care of 3 kids, had I not learned how to the value in using just a little bit, only having a little bit and being able to stretch it for the whole month, I would be so messed up right now. And you may say, Z, where are you going with this? Well, where I'm going with this is the gold that was produced, even from that part of the pain in my life, and there's a lot I can throw at you. I'm just using that example. It has blessed me tremendously in who I am today. Now, I'm almost 50 years old now, right? And many of you know I'm in the staffing industry. I've been helping people find jobs for almost 30 years. I own a staffing agency and some other businesses and things that I do. The gold produced from how I grew up and so many painful episodes that I experienced has taught me how to treat people. It's taught me not to think I'm too high and mighty. And no matter how God decides to bless me, to not let it go to my head and think I'm better than others. Because I know what it is to have plenty, and I know what it is to have nothing. God's taught me compassion, empathy for others, caring about kids who've been victimized. He's also taught me business. I'm naturally an entrepreneur. That's gold produced for me, because what you don't know is when I was about 12 years old, I was going door to door selling artwork, drawing on people's walls, doing anything I can do to get a little bit of money so I can help my mom out with bills and buy a few Christmas gifts for my siblings. And I always was hustling from the age of really 11, 12 and up, always working, doing something. So gold produced from that is I'm a hard worker. I naturally love working. And the gold from that is the creativity he's given me. You get my point? Now, that's just my story. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's story is different. But the point I'm trying to get at is that there's gold in the pain. There's something that can be pulled out of whatever it is you have experienced. And I don't care what it is. I can see some of the comments now in my head as I'm thinking through. I can see people saying, but Z, you don't know what happened to me. Z, you don't know I went through this and I went through that. And I don't have the answers for all of you guys. I don't. Some people ask me, why does God allow things to happen and da 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 da? All I know is I serve a good God. And I know that God has given us free will. And I know because of that, some people have used their free will to hurt other people. But I also know God is able to make crooked roads straight. And I know that he is able to turn your life around and pull gold from that situation so you can serve others and help in some way. And all I'm petitioning to you, my dear brothers, my dear sisters, please allow God to show you the gold. Use that gold for his good. I'll end this by saying I remember a long time ago when I spoke before my church. I was going through a very, very difficult time. And I studied out the process of how gold is purified. And if you don't do anything else, study that process out. It will blow you away. And the whole premise of it is it goes through a tremendous, tremendous process. I'm going to save you all the details because, you're probably tired of watching me right now. But it goes through a tremendous process before gold is actually purified. It has to go through the fire. It has to go through all of these processes. That's unreal. Sometimes we have to go through the fire for that purification to happen. I'm glad I went through the things I went through. That doesn't mean I appreciate all the things people did to me. And that doesn't mean I'll ever be best friends with them. So don't get me wrong. But I'm able now to speak in front of a camera, unashamed, unapologetic. I don't care what people think or say about me. I don't care if my business clients, my employees, my neighbors, people from my high school, just about everybody some kind of way have found out about this podcast and they're all watching. I don't care what they think about me. I know that God has tremendously blessed my life. He's tremendously turned things around when I thought that it could not be turned around. And I know that I now must walk in obedience and do what he's told me to do and harness some of this gold from my pain to help others. And I'm just asking that you please do the same. I love you all. I pray that this message has blessed you and encouraged you. And I'm just asking you please to let God use you. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. This is Z again. Do not forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification button. Bye-bye.